All right. Where's my chat? There's my chat. Awesome. Whee! We are here. Hello, ladies and gentlemen. The live stream has begun. Saturday afternoon or morning live stream, depending on where you are. Drew Lavers. What's up, dude? How's it going? Greg Piet. Hello, sir. Welcome. Wielding that wrench like a boss. Eamon. Yeah, we're gonna get crazy. We're gonna get crazy this month. Reaper, hello. Because we have the Kickstarter coming up next week, we're gonna try live streaming like a lot. Apparently, people that should know tell me that live streaming a lot during your Kickstarter helps your Kickstarter. So I guess I'm just gonna do that, and we're gonna see if that's a true statement or if not, because it's a lot of time. All right, I gotta get this thing off underneath me. I have a seat cushion, but I don't use it during live streams. Okay. Oh yeah. Eamon's like, I'm not complaining. Yeah, it's all good, dude. All right, so I already spammed and stuff. I think we can pretty much start this thing. Yeah. Ken the Schmidt, hello. Heather Hamp, hello. How are you doing? Flippin' X, what up, dude? Simeon, hello. Kelton Ritchie, what up? Dennis Thornton, hello. Reaper is excited about the new content. Cool, I am too, man. I love this crap. I love these books, man. We got to get these things printed and on people's shelves. Oh, yes. We have, you guys will all be happy to hear, Stream Elements has been sacked, fired. They were actually given warnings. They were given written warnings, and they still kept breaking. So Stream Elements is no longer in the chat. They're no longer in charge of chat messages. We now have Nightbot, which thus far has not failed us, but we've only been using it for a test stream and then today. So hopefully Nightbot is gonna work like it's supposed to. Otherwise, we're gonna sack it and get something else. Yeah. Ugh. Are you going to demo the content of the books? I mean, all I can show you are Word documents. I don't know if people really want to see the Word documents that we have. The book has not been laid out yet. So I can show you artwork. I can show you the sample PDF that we have, which probably will be a little bit helpful. So I can show you some things, but I mean, it's not been laid out. We do not, for this project, we are not laying out the entire books and everything prior to the Kickstarter. We did that for Secret Art of Game Mastery, and frankly, we found it took us, like, we got the books printed a couple months earlier, maybe, but it was so much extra headache, and it was just not worth it. Ultimately, we were like, you know what, one of our like, you know, what do you call them, your postmortems you do on projects and stuff. We were like, trying to get everything laid out and ready to go prior to the Kickstarter was insanity, and it didn't actually get the product into our backers' hands that much faster. So we are not doing that. So I could show you some stuff, but if you want there's no full demos of everything. It's not, because everything's not. The content is created. The artwork is maybe a quarter to a third of the way done. We're making good progress on the artwork, but layout is just now starting. Well, even the PDFs for Secret of Game Mastery didn't come out until a couple of months after the project closed. So even that was delayed. And I'm telling you, man, like, BackerKit was not made to deliver digital products before you charge people's cards. Like, so that is a thorny issue right there. It took me, and let us just say it took me a considerable amount of time every single week to manually, I should just open up the full screen here, shouldn't I? It took me a considerable amount of time every single week to manually push out digital products for Secret Art of Game Mastery. Like every single week I had to go in and manually do certain things so that people would get the PDFs before we charged the cards in BackerKit. Like every single week, I don't know, hour, 2 hours or something, that I'm just sitting here pushing buttons and pushing out PDFs because it's not automated. There's no way to automate it. It was miserable. You know, imagine I can get a lot done in 2 hours, you know, a week, and instead I'm pushing buttons to push out PDFs. So it was a manual process that was a nightmare. And then what happened is people would fill out their surveys and then they still wouldn't have instant access to their PDFs because they'd have to wait for me once a week to go in there and push a bunch of buttons. So that they would get it manually pushed out, you know? And so people were like, hey, I was supposed to have my PDF and I still haven't got it yet. So we're getting support emails about people not having their PDFs. It was a massive burden on my team and it was a nightmare. So I'm just telling you, that was a nightmare. All right, you're gonna bump my coffee cup right there, buddy. All that is to preface it and say that for the Lairs and Legends 2 that's coming up right now, we're going to be delivering all digital products at this once the cards are charged in BackerKit. We are not going to be able to do this push them out as soon as we get them sort of thing. We're going to wait until prior to fulfilling the books when we charge the cards. That's when we're going to push out the PDFs for everything. Like the system that we did last time is not sustainable. I just can't. I can't do that. I can't do that. And the back end of BackerKit has a certain level of complexity that takes someone fairly experienced with using it to do what I was doing last time. Because it's not. The back end is kind of sloppy. It's rough to use. So, Secret Art, the Lairs and Legends 2 coming up. We're going to deliver all the PDFs, all the digital, everything is going to come when cards are charged. Like we have to do that. We have to do it. So the bottom line is that if you want to get the PDFs of things, for Lairs and Legends 2, you're going to have to wait until that happens because we can't do what we did for the Secret of Game Mastery. It's not sustainable. It's not sustainable. My sanity can't do it. Like I could literally be creating awesome content for folks and doing things that deliver value, and instead I'm pushing buttons. It was crazy. So I just can't do that. All right. Anyway, that was my long diatribe on that nightmare that I don't want to repeat again. Yeah, it's a bummer, but when the day comes that BackerKit can deliver products the way that we need them to deliver products, the way that people want them to deliver products, well, then we'll do it. But in the meantime, this is kind of what we got. All right, let's see. We need to get the Kickstarter going. My color seems to be off. Like my skin color I'm a little pale. We should probably adjust my skin color here. Configure video. Let's see here. Woo! I'm not pale anymore. I'm a little orange. We should probably pop that down a little bit. Give me a little bit of color. There we go. Now I have a little bit of color. That looks like I have some color. Yeah, that looks better. How's that? Am I a little better? I was pale before. There we go. Hey Matthew, what's up, dude? How you doing, buddy? All right, so let's do the preamble. My dog is wandering somewhere. Her bed's empty. You can see her bed on screen. I don't know where she is. Where is my dog? Crap, I lost my dog. Hold on a second. Come here, dog. I know. I'm lost, Daddy. Okay. She got lost. Here we go. Relax. Take a chill pill. She can't see. She's blind, and she just wanders around. And there are stairs over there that sometimes she will wander to the stairs and then go up the stairs. Well, that's a massive hazard because she might fall down the stairs, right? She might go upstairs and wander around and then fall down the stairs. She's fallen down the stairs before, so I have to keep an eye on her. She can't go up the stairs. She was in the other side of the basement, though. We have this is the finished side of the basement, and then we have an unfinished side, and she was over there wandering around, ping-ponging off stuff. So anyway, I brought her back. I found the doggy. Get something to eat. Yeah, well, that's the way it happens, Big H. She just had her snack, though. I literally just gave her a snack. Okay, cool. So let's get this going. It's a Q&A stream. You guys can ask your questions and stuff. It looks like we have some people asking questions already, which is great. I will be going through and answering questions. And that's really what we're doing here. We'll just talk and chit chat about stuff. And let's see. So we have a giveaway going on. You can join the giveaway through a link in the chat that was probably there somewhere. And we're giving away $50 store credit on the DM Lair store. So you can get a whole bunch of D&D 5th edition. Oh, I can't say D&D. You can get a whole bunch of 5th edition content over there and Pathfinder 2 content as well. I love how Pathfinder 2 lets me say the name of the brand in my products that I create for the brand. Anyway, you can get a whole bunch of 5th edition and Pathfinder 2 content over on the DM Lair store to use in your games. Lots of cool stuff. We have Foundry Packs as well. So the winner of the giveaway is going to earn a $50 credit for the DM Lair store. We'll draw the winner to the giveaway at the end of the stream. All right, so there's the giveaway thing. We are still raising money for Canines for Warriors. So there is a link down in the description. Hopefully we can get one in the chat as well if you would like to donate. So I will show you the screen. So this is their website, Canines for Warriors. They're the nation's largest provider of service dogs for veterans. So we love supporting veterans around here. Probably half of the charities that I raise money for have to do with veterans. I'm super appreciative of everything that they do for us, and so we try to help them out. This particular charity gives service dogs to veterans who are suffering from PTSD, what does it say here? Traumatic brain injury and military sexual trauma, just crap they go through in general, right, when they're serving us. Dogs help out a lot. I've read that it helps prevent like suicide and just improves mental health and just does a whole bunch of crap to help our veterans. And so we're raising money for them. And if you want to donate, you can do so through tipping. There's a link down in the description for where you can send your tips. One of our mods can probably throw the charity !charity command in, and it'll throw the link as well. Also, if you don't, I don't have to be the middleman. If you want to donate directly to them, just go to their website. That link is down there as well, and then just donate directly. Our goal here is to raise $500. We are currently at 120 out of 500, so we're getting close. On our Thursday live stream, we made some significant headway. Look at my dog. She's just wandering around. This is what my dog does. She just wanders around. Zoe, are you wandering? I'm wandering. He just wanders around. There we go. So yeah, donate if you would like to. Deeply appreciate it. And then, all right, let's talk about, let's do our patron plug. I gotta get a dramatic sip of coffee here. Ooh. Oh, that's a good question. Okay, well, we'll come back to the patron shout out in a second. Where is it? Mr. Short says, why can't you say D&D? Don't think it, don't say it. Well, yeah, context. In the open game license that we use to publish our products, it literally says that we are not allowed to use the brand name D&D when marketing our products, on our products, etc. Like, we're not supposed to use the brand name Dungeons and Dragons at all. It's like their product, it's like their brand identity and crap. So in the OGL that we publish under, it literally says you may not, you cannot, you shall not use the word brand name Dungeons and Dragons. And so this is why, if you pay attention to like people who sell D&D 5e content or people who make Kickstarters for Dungeons and Dragons 5th edition content, you'll notice that almost none of them say Dungeons and Dragons. None of them. What they say is 5e. They'll say 5e. So they'll say 5e content or 5e adventures. Or they'll say designed for the world's most popular role-playing game. Now, some of them also say designed for the world's greatest role-playing game. However, when you say the world's greatest role-playing game, that's literally what Dungeons & Dragons says about their system, which could be, in my opinion, delving into like brand identity and maybe like some sort of like trademark crap, I don't know. And so I don't say greatest role-playing game, and it's not the greatest role-playing game to begin with, let's be honest. Of course, that depends on personal opinion and preferences, but it's not the world's greatest role-playing game. What is actually factual about it is that it is the world's most popular role-playing game. That is probably accurate. And so I say world's most popular role-playing game. But almost everybody just says 5th edition, and almost no one says D&D 5th edition when they're specifically talking about their products that they sell, right? So usually in marketing or in the actual product itself, they'll just say 5th edition. Now, those that say D&D 5th edition in their products or in their marketing or something, they're treading on dangerous waters because that's in violation of the open game license, which they publish under. So they are, if Wizards ever wanted to take action against them, they could, right? So anyway, that's why I'm not supposed to say that the stuff that I publish is for D&D, because it's not. It's for 5th edition of the world's most popular role-playing game. Wink, wink. It's like, ah. Do you think? Oh my gosh, that's a good question, Dank DM. He wants to know, do you think Wizards of the Coast is trying to tank the brand to replace it with something else? Oh, now we're getting into fun questions. We're going to answer that question. Remind me if I forget, because I will. I need to do our patron shout-outs, and then we'll get into that question right there. All right, here we go. Let's see. Where is my... Okay, so these names on screen are our wonderful patrons. They help support all the content we create around here. For instance, I am sitting here with you right now answering questions and talking about spicy content, potentially. That'll probably get me in trouble because I have a big mouth and I don't have a filter. I just tell people what I think instead of doing the PR bullcrap, that companies normally do to play all sides and not get anybody upset with them and be super vanilla. So, but I don't usually do that, so I get me in trouble. Anyway, these patrons are the ones who support what I do, and I'm deeply, deeply appreciative for them. They also get every single month a whole bunch of 5th edition and Pathfinder 2 content that they can use in their games, adventures, puzzles, maps, traps, encounters, monsters, a whole bunch of the cool loads of stuff they can use in their games. So I love my patrons. They're awesome. These patrons right here support us at an even higher level. That's called a bribe. Well, they also get more content too. They get tons of content. These are the $25 plus patrons who are just gobbed up in content every single month for their games, and they get their names shouted out. So here we go. Oh, I got a special screen I gotta pull up to make the names bigger so I can actually read them. Aaron H, Agile M, Alex S, Alexander O, Alithana, Alan D, Amanda W, Ambers, Angelique K, Anton K, Art Soccer, Ashley, Alucas, Beavis Con, Bees and Spade, Ben D, Black Wolf, Bradley H, Brandon P, Brian D, Brian O, Brian Lyon, Brian J, Carl C, Caddick Wolf, Christine E, Christine B, Kristen E, maybe? Christopher G, Clay W, Colette H, Colin W, Connor D, Contrary Gravy, Corey A, Courtney H, Kuan B, Dara T, Dazzled Up, David S, Dalwolf85, Dylan W, Dean B, Derek E, Dice Goblin Wannabe, Don D, Draxus, Dungeon of Terra, Ed R, Edward B, Edward L, Infrabo, Endorian72, Eric B, Philip H, Gabriel T, get the cat out of the way, good gravy. Jean, she's gonna bump the camera. Or intentionally push her nose against it, because they like to do that too. George E, George R, Greg P, Guapo, Gubin, GVTM, Heart U, HLD Important, Karen Cascade, Jackie Pizza, Jacob H, Jacob K, James L, Jeff S, Jeremy W, I need another vowel in there, please. Jim P, Joanne P, Joel J, John A, John B, John D, John the Wicked, John Pinkanos, Jonathan F, Jonathan H, Jonathan S, Jonathan V, Jordan A, Jose B, Joseph H, Joseph W, Josh M, Josh S, Juan, Justin J, Kevin W, Killsaber, Kirby, Laura L, Lair HS Scion, Letter Mage, Lionheart, Linda Loki, Lord H, Lieberclaw, Matt Locke, Macy S, Mama D, Marcel V, Marcus, Martin E, Master Noob, Matthew C, Meepy670, I'm gonna stop saying those numbers, man. Why do we got numbers in the names? I don't know. Michael S, Michelangelo, Mika J, Mirostal. It's because it's their patron usernames. That's why. Mitchell, Mo 20s, Mordakin, Morganth, Morve, Nicholas S, Nick H, Nearith, Nostramo, Old Man Mage, Oleg, Patrick D, Paul C, Paul P, C, Paul S, Pethnick, Pivo, Porkchop Bacon, Puppet Master, Randall C, Randy B, Rebar, Renner C, Richard M, Robert C, Robin B, Roll for Combat, Rollpel, Ross A, Ryan, Saul R, Sale R, Sakura Sam, I probably messed it up both times, Samantha J, I don't know why I try, Sarah J, Sarah P, Scott R, Sergio, I do my best, but man, I am not a pronouncer person. Sergio M, Shadow, Shane L, Sean the Ice, got a strenuous I in there. Where did that come from? Simfan, Solnaya, Stefan G, Stephen T, Steve S, Sturm, T Warner, Tabletop Nerd, Ty, Taliana, Therese, Terry V, the O, the old, the diabolical DM, the Jackal, the Dice Dragon wannabe. Whoops, I screwed that up. The Dice Dragon. They are a wannabe. They just are. The Fuzzled, the New Bad Ombre, Thomas F, Tor J, TK, Tom B, Tom T, Travels T, Trinity S, Tyler D, Tyler R, Valagor, Victoria Q, Vladimir S, Voloff V, Wesley K, William C, XX Red Drum, Zombie Trami. There we go. Thank you, everybody. What, little guy? What is your problem? Oh my goodness. What? You always come up here and bother me. You fluffy bucket. Actually, you're pretty skinny. You're skinny. What do you want? Huh? What do you want? You turd? You know, he's starting to come up on the desk every time I do a live stream now. He never bothers me when I'm not live streaming. He never comes down here. But when I'm live streaming now, he's coming up and bothering me. What do you want? You think it's snack time? You think it's snack time? We'll do a cat strike later, okay? You gotta take it down a level. Man, you're all hairy. You're getting hair all over the place. Yeah. All right, he's out of control. Okay. Where are we? Got some empty shelves. Yeah, I have a bunch of empty shelves over there. Because all of my books are in the other part of the basement, I'm working on getting new bookcases to go back there. And I need to order them. And I haven't even ordered them yet because I haven't had time to go click a couple buttons on a website, is the bottom line. So they have empty shelves that are going to be empty for a while. Because even once I order the replacement shelves, I have to assemble them and put them up. And then I have to put the books in them. And that's going to take time. And I don't know when I'm going to get that time. So yeah, empty shelves, that's the way it is. That's life. William says my cats always try to get into my work meetings. Yeah, I hear you. What turd? All right, somebody asked a cool question. Let's go back. What was the question again? Oh yeah. Do you think Wizards of the Coast is trying to tank the brand to replace it with something else? I mean, I don't know why you would want to sabotage your own brand. No, it doesn't make any sense because look at the people in charge. Well, I mean, okay, this is an interesting question because there's short-term tanking and long-term tanking. Because the executives who are in charge, they are compensated, like probably, if you look at Chris Cox, Cynthia Williams, all of the C-suite, all the people at Hasbro and the people at Wizards of the Coast. Okay, hold on a second. My camera is going bonkers. It's because I don't have the backlight composition on. There, that fixes it. If you look at the C-suite at Hasbro or at Wizards of the Coast, Chris Cox, Cynthia Williams, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera, they are, most of their compensation, well, probably half, I would say, I'm just spitballing, nobody really knows, but probably half of their compensation comes from stock sharing. So it's based upon the stock of Hasbro. So Chris Cox probably gets a base salary of, I don't know, let's just say $500,000 a year. Zoe, you gotta take it down a level. Let's say he gets a base salary, and you can Google this and find out what his previous year's salaries are. But his base salary is probably $500,000, and he probably gets like, I don't know, that the same amount or more in like stock options in Hasbro. So like the C-suite is usually compensated very heavily by stock options in the company that they work for. And this results, the reason for that is so that they will keep stock prices high. They want stock prices to go up, right? Because it's a publicly traded company. To help motivate your C-suite to increase stock prices, that most of their compensation comes from the value of the stock. This is a pretty normal business practice, is my understanding, although I don't know everything, obviously. So for people in the C-suite to intentionally tank Hasbro and D&D or Wizards of the Coast is unthinkable for them in a way, because they get paid based upon how well the stock prices go. So they wouldn't want to tank it in the short term because that directly affects them. However, the long term doesn't really matter to them usually. And this is I'm just talking generically because it depends on the company. There are some companies where executives stay around for the long haul, and there are other companies where there's a high turnover in executives. So, and the way this was explained to me is that you have those two different cultures. When you have executives that stay there for the long haul, usually those are companies that are doing very well. They don't have a lot of problems and stuff, and the people working there are making good money. And so, like, dude, if the company is doing really well and you're making good money and it seems like you got job security, you might just stick around for a long time, right? But if you're in an industry or a company that in particular that has a lot of turbulence and is up and down, and it's doing well and it's not doing well, and then there are lots of layoffs and stuff, and you might be next, well then you end up usually, oftentimes, sometimes, etc., with a C-suite that might have a lot of turnover. And the C-suite is like, okay, look, the company's not doing really well and stuff, I might get cut, therefore I should probably start looking for a new job. It's the same thing that you and I would do, right? Like, if you have a job, so I had a job in automotive a long time back, and automotive is very turbulent, and the company that I was in was not doing very well. Like, it was big time struggling. And so I'm like, use your brain, Luke. If you just stay here, eventually you get laid off. So you need to find a new job. And so I did, right? And it's the same thing that, like, I think executives do, right? So like, in some companies where job security might not be that great and the company isn't doing that well, then you're going to see a lot of turnover in the C-suite. So I'm getting to my point. So if you see a lot of turnover in the C-suite, and the C-suite members know that they're going to be there for about 3-4 years, they want to probably get stock options vested, 401ks, retirement stuff vested, maybe, they probably want, they're going to stick around for a few years for reasons, and then they're going to jump to a different company. Like, for instance, a lot of the people right now in the C-suite of Wizards of the Coast, Hasbro, my understanding is, came from Microsoft. And so I'm pretty sure Chris Cox and Cynthia Williams both did, and a lot of other people working there came from Microsoft. And so they hopped from Microsoft. And now they're at Wizards right now, and Wizards is like, their stock is down, right? They were at an all-time high during the pandemic, and now their stock is basically going down. They laid off 25% of their workforce, right? And stuff. So you could definitely say that the company is not in the best of situations financially, one might argue. And so if that's the case, then the C-suite is probably thinking, hey, we probably don't, our time is numbered. We're going to probably get our pink slips at some point. So they are probably thinking, what am I going to do next? Right? I probably got a few years, and then I'm going to have to find something else to do. And so if you were thinking that way, then you start to think short term, right? You don't want the company, you want to do your best possible to make short-term decisions that are going to keep the stock prices up and help the company do well. Mainly keep the stock prices up, right? But long-term thinking kind of goes out the door because you're not going to be here that long. And so therefore you need to survive the next few years, and then you're going to leave or something. And so this is all to go back to the original question, of would Wizards of the Coast intentionally be tanking their business and brand? In the short term, no, that would be insanity. But in the long term, how much long-term thinking is there? Like, for instance, when they did the whole OGL thing in like a little over a year ago, what they were trying to do is they were trying to make a walled garden around D&D. They didn't want anybody else really to be publishing any content for D&D. They wanted to cut everybody out. And they did it by trying to revoke a license that had been around for 20 years. And what that did, one of the unintended consequences of that is that other big companies that were possibly going to license D&D, get licensing from D&D for certain things, got cold feet and backed off, right? So let's pretend that you're like, I'm gonna pick something stupid. This probably doesn't work. Let's pretend that you're Nike. I don't know. You're a big, huge company like Nike, and you're like, we should get some Nike D&D shoes. That's a good idea. I don't think that's a good idea, but I'm giving you an example. All right, and Nike's like, we should get some licensing rights to D&D so that we can have some dragon Nike shoes with D&D logos. We should do that. But then Nike sees that Hasbro and Wizards of the Coast is nullifying or trying to nullify a license that had been in effect for 20 years. And they were using some sleazy legalese mumbo jumbo. It never says unrevocable to try to do it and stuff. So Nike sees this and they're like, whoa, that's messed up. I bet none of their licenses are safe. We probably should be very careful about getting in bed with that company because they're doing some questionable stuff, right? And so that's like one of the unintended consequences of the OGL thing was like, okay, let's get the walled garden, let's get all the money belong to us, right? But one of the unintended consequences was other brands and companies and stuff got cold feet with getting in bed with them and getting into licensing because here Hasbro is trying to revoke a license that has been around for 20 years that was commonly understood to be unrevocable. And so that is an example of a potentially long-term consequence because in the moment there might have been licensing deals being talked about, but when the OGL scandal happened, those companies were like, nope, we're out. And so that means that now immediately, there's no immediate impact probably, but down the road, like years down the road, that's a huge long-term impact because look at Baldur's Gate 3. Baldur's Gate 3 was licensed, probably 10 years ago or something? I don't know how long ago it was actually licensed by, I forget the name of the company that makes it, but because I don't play Baldur's Gate 3, I don't have time to play games. So Baldur's Gate 3 was licensed by that company, and somebody knows the name of the company, please put their name down in the chat so I know the name of the company and so I can sound like I know what I'm talking about. But it was licensed like a long time ago, because game development takes that long. And then finally the game comes out and it's going bonkers. It's just like making money hand over fist, and Wizards, presumably, I don't know what the deal is, but I'm sure Wizards is getting a percentage of like gross or something. I don't know what it is, 3%, 5%. I have no idea. I'm just making up numbers, but they're getting something. They're getting a cut of that pie, right? That's gotta be how licensing works. So it's probably not like a flat upfront fee. It's like probably a fee plus a percentage of royalties, basically. That's my understanding, but I don't know everything. And it might vary. Licenses probably vary substantially based upon the companies and stuff. But anyway, it took like, let's say a decade for Wizards of the Coast to begin making money hand over fist on Baldur's Gate 3, a license deal that happened a decade ago or something, okay? So, Larian Studios, thank you, Larian Studios. So, because a year ago, many companies got cold feet about getting into licensing deals with Wizards of the Coast because of the OGL scandal, that means that down the road, there's potential revenue that they left on the table, right, that they're not going to see. That is an example of a long-term impact of a business decision made a year ago, right, that's going to screw them in the long run. Now, immediately it didn't, right, because licenses, deals like that take some time to come to fruition and actually start making money. But long-term, they got screwed, right? And that company directly got screwed because of a very, very bad business decision that the C-suite, specifically in Hasbro, is my understanding, and probably, I'm sure people in Wizards at the higher ups were in the nose as well. But that was an example of a long-term consequence that's going to happen and you'll never know how much it affected them because that money is just not going to show up. It's like a, the unknown. They lost an undetermined and indeterminable amount of money because of a bad business decision that caused people to back off from licensing with them. So that's a long-term consequence of that decision, horrible decision that they made a year ago, right? And so the original question that sparked all of this is are they intentionally trying to tank their brand? No, that would be insanity. I don't think they're intentionally trying to do it. But if you make really dumb decisions like that, then you can, right? You can tank it. And if you do stupid stuff like send the Pinkertons after Magic the Gathering players, I mean, how many, like, if you keep making boneheaded decisions and doing things like that, you know, like, yeah, there are gonna be consequences, right? Things are gonna happen. So I don't think they're intentionally doing it, but somebody's making some bad calls. KJ Cast says Wizards of the Coast shot themselves in the foot for probably 10 to 20 years. Yeah, because you don't know because like it's you don't know how much they lost. They could have lost $1 billion because of that decision, right? By the way, Atmos Chem, thank you for the $250 tip. Holy crap. $250. Thank you, man. That just got, look at this. That just got our goal right here. We were at 110 and now boop, 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 boop. We are at $370 raised toward Canines for Warriors. So I'm gonna pull up the screen over here. So that $250 is gonna go directly toward Canines for Warriors to help get service dogs for our veterans who serve our country and sacrifice in so many stinking ways. So that is awesome. Thank you so much, Atmos Chem. $250. Totally, deeply appreciate that, man. That is so stinking cool. Probably about half of the fundraisers we do on the channel are to help our veterans because I love the sacrifices they make to help us keep our freedom and all of that kind of stuff. My brother serves, he is a, what is he? I always get it confused. He's in the reserve. He's in the Army National Guard or whatever. No, yeah, he's in the Army National Guard. So I think that's different from the reserve. I'm not a military man, so I can't keep my stuff straight. But he served in Iraq a couple times. He was deployed a couple times. And then right now his job is, I mean, he's like he's got a rank and stuff. It's technically a civilian job, but you have to be in the National Guard to have it. I don't know how this all works, but anyway, so my brother serves as well, and he's gonna come over tomorrow for Easter dinner with the family, so that'll be fun. Tomorrow I get to eat food. Anyway, thank you, Atmos Chem. I do totally appreciate that. That's sweet. Yeah, baby. All right. Heather Ham says my sister's husband is in the Army, and this is great to see. Well, thank you, Heather. Appreciate that. Yeah, like seriously, like probably half of the fundraisers I do have to do with the military, like veterans and stuff, helping the veterans. We've done Canines for Warriors before. Who all did we do? Let me see. I literally have a link here. So Stack Up, we usually do a yearly thing with Stack Up as well, because they help veterans, usually mental health stuff as well. And then I have done BACA, which is Bikers Against Child Abuse. Oh no, that's not veteran stuff. Never mind. Forget that. That's a different one. I think I've done one for Paralyzed Veterans of America before. And so there you go. So those are the main ones I do for veterans. We also do stuff for children and like sex trafficking victims. We do a lot of stuff for that as well. So we've done All God's Children and One More Child are our two ones we go for a lot for that. So trying to, every stream we try to raise money for a charity. And there we go. Sweet. Greg Piet, thank you, sir. $130. Yes, we have now met our goal. Thank you, dude. That is awesome. I appreciate that. There you go. We're at our $500 goal. So now I can go make a donation to veterans. Sweet. That is cool. Awesome. Thank you, man. Oh, there we go. Reaper Steve Law for $250 matched. Booyah. Yeah, thank you, Steve. So Steve, by the way, oh, I didn't know that was your Reaper. That's you, Steve. Oh, cool. So I went to I mean, as long as this is the Steve Law that I'm thinking of, and I'm sure it is, I went to this dude's house, and he ran a game of D&D for his players and me. It was like, we played for 2 days, basically, just like D&D nonstop for a couple of days. So, yeah. So, anyway, thank you, Steve. I appreciate the donation, man. That's super cool. All right, sweet. So we just annihilated our donation goal. Completely annihilated it. Sweet. Yeah, D&D for 2 days straight. I got there on a Friday, and we played... Did we play on Friday night? I don't think we played on Friday night. We might have. But I know we played all Saturday. We played all day Saturday. And then we played on Sunday, too. There was like a good chunk of Sunday that we were playing as well. It was something like that. So yeah, it was a D&D marathon is what it was. I was gonna be a monk, but monks, they don't do monks in the campaigns. So I ended up being what was I? I think I probably picked a barbarian or a fighter to keep it simple. I think that's what I did. Yeah. Each session was 5. Okay, hold on a second. Steve has more information because I apparently have a bad memory. We all know that. We played Saturday 3 session and Sunday 1 session. Oh, we had 3 sessions on Saturday? Oh, okay. So we probably had breaks in between them. Squeaky, I don't know. You want to come on my lap all the time. Squeaky always wants to come on my lap. Oh, I ran a fighter called Barbarian? Oh, okay. Sweet. D&D marathons. I was thinking about doing like a D&D marathon for people. I was thinking of like, getting like a physical place at like some place and then doing like a couple days of like a D&D marathon where I would be the game master for it. It just would take so much effort to put that all together, But I was thinking about it. I was totally thinking about it. Oh, here's a okay, so we have a lot of questions. I need to get better at. Oh, by the way, Voto Star, thank you so much for the $25 tip. That's more money toward veterans and helping them. I do appreciate that. Thank you so much, dude. That's awesome. We're totally stinking killing our charity donation goal today. That is awesome. Sweet. All right. Reaper says I would love to run an epic with you, Luke. Yeah, that'd be fun, man. I just had this I don't know. King Graham Johnson says, are you going to Grand Con this year? Probably, almost assuredly I'll be there. I don't think, they haven't contacted me about being a special guest, so, which I was last year, so I might not be a guest or anything, but I'll probably still be there, I probably ruffled some feathers last year when I was a guest, would be my guess. I was on a panel, and they probably did. Probably some of the other. I'm pretty sure that this is. I probably shouldn't talk about this stuff, but this is what I do. I talk about stuff that I'm real, and that gets me in trouble. But okay, so I was on a panel, and the panel was. I should probably not share details, which will help keep me safer. Like discretion. So I was on a panel, and I'm pretty sure that a couple of the other people that were on the panel did not like some of the things that I was saying, because I was being real with people. I was trying to give the audience actual actionable advice that would actually help them with what they need, what the panel was about. And some of the other people were kind of just, I don't know, they weren't giving them real advice that's actually going to help anybody, in my opinion, obviously. So I think they would make a point, and then I tried to do it as politely as possible, but I was basically contradicting their points because I'm going to be frank. So the panel was about a certain topic, and they had not achieved a level of success that I would consider makes them an expert to talk on the matter. And they're giving people advice. They haven't achieved success, and they're giving people advice for this thing. And I'm just like, no, this is not actually going to help people. and you don't know what you're talking about because you've never, it's like, and so I was probably contradicting a lot of what they said, and I was trying to do it as politely as possible, but it's like, I want to help people, and when I see people giving bad advice, and then people that are probably going to go off and try to implement it and then fail, it's like, I can't keep my mouth shut and just be like, yep, I can't do that. It was about running successful Kickstarters. That was the topic, running successful Kickstarters. Now, I know my Kickstarters aren't like the biggest and baddest things in the world. We don't break $1 million and stuff. I understand that, but our Kickstarters are not small. And so I know some things about running a Kickstarter. And the other people who run Kickstarters, they were not big Kickstarters. They were like, So anyway, I probably got myself reported as like a bad person by the two people that were upset at me. And that's probably why I'm not going to be a guest there this year. That's my guess, which is fine, but it also, the interesting thing too is that if that even happened, and I don't even know if it did, but this brings up an interesting point. Like whenever you have like a conflict or disagreement or something, when one person comes and tells you their side of the story, that's usually not the full truth, right? Usually you need to listen to the other person to hear both sides, and that will help you to understand what really happened, And I feel like I know the what do you want to call it? The personalities of the people that I'm thinking of, and they are exaggerators. Oh my goodness, they're like over the top exaggerators. And so I'm sure that if a reporting happened, it was completely exaggerated, and I just got like thrown under 1,000 buses. So, but I don't really care because I don't really care, really. I'm just telling you, I just think that's probably what happened. So anyway, but I plan on going there. Okay, let's get some more questions. I feel like I was in the middle of a question and then I got distracted by something. Question: if you were to combine D&D 5e, Tales of the Valiant, and 1 D&D, how would you deal with 3 variants of every class? You just want to live in a world of pain. You're just asking for pain. Ah! Okay, so first of all, supposedly 1 D&D is going to be completely compatible with D&D 5th edition. In fact, it's the same thing. So if that can be believed, then they should be 100% compatible anyway. So you shouldn't have to worry about that. And Tales of the Valiant, from what I have seen, and I have not deep dived it, I've glanced through the PDF. But Tales of the Valiant, from what I can see, is it looks like D&D 5th edition. It looks so similar. It's so similar. I suspect that it probably is completely compatible with most, if not all, of the stuff from D&D 5th edition. They probably just changed some terms here and there to stay safe legally. That was my gut impression. But again, I glanced through the PDF. I don't know for certain. So my suspicion is that if you wanted to combine all of those 3 and just let people play whatever they wanted to from any of them, you might be okay, maybe. This is what I would do. Okay, Tashio says that Tales of the Valiant is basically 5th edition with some changed words. That was my impression, but I don't want to make blanket statements like that from a point of not having actually read it in depth myself or done some good research on it. Because like the moment someone like me makes these statements that could be damaging to somebody else, and they actually, what I said ends up being not true, well then that's negligence on my part, to make statements that could be damaging potentially if they're not true. Now, if what I say is true and it's damaging or somehow affects somebody else, well, that's a different story, right? Like, when I talked about the OGL crap. All of what they were doing was true, you know, and it was damaging to them, but they kind of asked for it, right? So, so I have to be careful about what I say about things, because I don't want to say something that's not true and have it negatively affect someone or a company, you know what I mean? So that's why I'm careful when I say, like, from what I've read, it seems like. So, but anyway, what I would do for the person who asked the question, Cat Gadget or Gadget Cat, what I would do is, if you want a World of Pain, then combine all three of those. But I wouldn't. What I would do is I would just throw it into the wild. This is a crazy experiment, but you're asking for a crazy experiment by combining three systems. So this is what you get. You get a crazy answer. So I would throw it into the wild. I would tell your players, we're going to do an experiment. You may choose to play classes from any of these three game systems, which are probably compatible. And we're just gonna see what happens. We're gonna see what happens. And then let them do it and see what happens. And then you'll probably have to tweak some things and stuff like that. But I can tell you right now that you will 100%, without a doubt, like, I will bet my Kickstarter earnings on this, like all of them. This is what you're gonna find. This is what you're gonna find. One D&D that comes out at the end of this year or next year, 2025, 5.5, 6th edition, D&D 2024, which actually releases in 2025. You see how confusing this gets? That release right there is 100% going to have character classes and options that are more powerful than what is currently in D&D 5th edition. 100% will happen because it helps sell books. This is a known thing. This is why Magic the Gathering cards are powerful. The new releases have really powerful cards in them that sometimes, I've been told, get banned from, like, tournament play and competition and official play, or whatever you want to call it, a month after they're released, because, oh no, this is really powerful, it gets banned. But people bought it for that month or whatever, 2 months. People were buying that because they wanted it, because it's good, it's a good card. This is what I've been told. I'm not an MTG player, but this is what I've been told. So they know that power sells, and so what comes out in the next release of D&D core rules is going to be the player options. The player options are going to be way more powerful, or more powerful enough that you will notice than what's currently available in D&D 5th edition. That's definitely going to happen. So you know, you're probably going to find that players are going to be like, why would I play the druid from D&D 5 now when the new druid is way more powerful? Unless it's thematically or something. So. Oh, only. So it says, Luke, 2 of the 3 books released in 2024. Only the Monster Manual is 2025. Oh, okay. I mean, if that's true, if there are no more delays, right? Because there could be more project delays. But yeah, that's fine. I don't follow those news that very closely, guys. Just so you know. That's why I don't do That's why I don't do videos on news. I'm not a news person, you know. Are you interested in what Dungeon Coach is doing with DCC? Yes, absolutely. I have played DCC 3 times now with Dungeon Coach. I've played it twice in person at conventions. The first time I played it with Dungeon Coach was at GaryCon last year. And then I played DC20 with Dungeon Coach at Gen Con last year. And then we played DC20 online with some other content creators. I forget who exactly I played with it because one, I have a bad memory, and 2, everything blurs together. But I know I played it with some other people. I think Duke from One Shot Questers was in it, and then there were like a couple other like YouTuber content creator people in it as well. But I forget. I know Duke was in it. I forget who the other 2 were. So anyway, I played DCC. I'm sorry, DC20. I've played DC20 3 times now, and it's a blast. It's tons of fun. Like the 3-action economy the 4-action economy that he has, the flexibility of when you use your actions. I've done crazy stuff, like I've used all 4 of my actions on a reaction. And I've done it. You can use an action to give yourself advantage. You can use an action to do this, that, and the other. I did this thing where I was a rogue and I stacked up all 4 of my action points as a reaction. When an enemy did something, I did something horrible to the enemy. And I just obliterated this enemy as a rogue. I think I got it was a critical hit. I just did crazy stuff. So the flexibility of his system is great. You can do some crazy, amazing stuff. So the way that I think about DC-20 is like the epic, over the top, like kick butt and take names sort of game system. So if you look at so there's like a spectrum of game systems, right? You have gritty, hardcore realism. Like if you think of OSR or Shadow Dark or Dungeon Crawl Classic, that's more of your gritty game system, right? Where we're not superheroes, we're just trying to survive, right? That's that spectrum. And the other end of the spectrum is we're invincible superheroes that do crazy, amazing, awesome stuff. So many people will say that D&D 5th edition is your crazy superheroes and we do amazing, awesome stuff. You might argue that, but DC-20, that is where you're just, if you want to run a game where your characters are just like doing crazy, amazing, heroic stuff, like over the top, just that's the game system for you. It's really cool. It's really cool. So yes, I am aware of what he's doing. It looks really, really cool. When his Kickstarter launches, I think he's doing his Kickstarter for that system in June, I think. Coach and I talk a lot and I don't remember anything, but I think he's doing it in June or something. So I will be doing a plug in one of my videos to help his Kickstarter and stuff, and I'll talk about it too. But it's really cool. It's really cool. So I would definitely take a look at that because it's cool stuff. He's and this dude is like, all he thinks about is his game system. His brain is always on DC-20, and this, that, and the other. He's got like documents. And, oh my gosh! So I think it's going to be really, really cool. I'm supposed to have an affiliate link that I can put down in there where you can learn more about it, and then like I get credit and make money off from the affiliate link. But I've just never. I should probably have that down there because people might be clicking it right now. Yeah. I mean, he is full of energy and hype, but like his game system is really cool. So, because sometimes people are full of hype, but then you're just like, they're just full of steam really. And there's nothing behind the hype. Like I know a guy right now, I can tell you off the top of my head, but I won't because that would not be cool, who seems like a lot of hype to me. But Coach, he puts his money where his words are. His words where his money are. His mouth where his money. I don't know. You get what I'm talking about. Time out. Time out. All right. I don't know where okay, I will try to find my DC-20 affiliate link right now for you so you guys can go check it out. I probably got it in here somewhere. Let me see. I'll have to do a search here. DC-20. Dungeon Coach. I don't know where I put the link for it. DC-20. I'm not finding it. Oh, you know where I probably put it? I probably put it in... Oh, it's probably not there. It's probably on Dropbox over here. Let's go over here. DC-20. Let's see if I can find it. There we go. I found it. DC-20 system. All right, let's click that. Open folder location. All right, now I have DC-20 system. And oh gosh, he gave me an affiliate link. I have no idea where my affiliate link is. I know. Let me go see if I can find my affiliate link for the Dungeon Coach for you. Because I don't even know where to send you. He probably has like a special place where I can send you. DC-20. Okay, here's DC-20. Alpha. One shot influencer. One shot video. DC-20. Where is this thing? DC-20. I don't know where my affiliate link is. Okay, hold on a second. Link. Let me see if it says affiliate link. Early access link. Where is my... I don't know where my affiliate link is. That's the problem. I don't even know where I should send you. I don't need to do the affiliate link. It doesn't matter to me. But I just don't know where I put the affiliate link. I have a lot of emails about DC20. I have the PDFs and stuff, but I don't know where I put the affiliate link. I have absolutely no clue. Hold on a second. Oh, I might have it. Hold on a second. Oh no, it says do not share this publicly. Well, let me send Dungeon Coach. Let me send him a message on Discord. Let's see, where is Dungeon Coach? I'm literally, I spelled literally wrong, plugging DC20 right now in my live stream, and I don't have my affiliate link. Can you send it to me, please? Let's see if he responds to me. He might not. He's probably busy. Anyway, if I can find that, I'll send it to you guys. I mean, I'm not gonna be able to find it. He's gonna have to send it to me. So that's a lost cause, me trying to find it. I should have copied it down. But you know, I'm irresponsible, I suppose. Okay, let's keep going. We got some questions and stuff. Didn't you play a cleric in that game? So I played in 3 games of DC20. Once I was a rogue. I'm pretty sure. So I think I was a rogue at Gen Con, the Gen Con game. I think in the Gary Con game, I think I was a barbarian. And then if you think that I was a cleric in that streamed game with the content creators, then I was a cleric. That sounds about right. I think I might have been Sally Zerner. Sally is one of my reoccurring characters. I have like 3 reoccurring characters I play a lot. One is the barbarian, and then another one is Sally Zerner, who is always a cleric. In the name of Torm, we shall help you. Yeah. All right. Luke Nubbs, thank you for the super chat, dude. Have you ever heard of Worlds Without Number? It's a swords and sorcery TTRPG with really good GM tools. No, I've never heard of it. I'm sorry. The look on Squeaky's face. His patience is wearing out. Squeaky, what's wrong? Am I not giving you any attention? Huh? Are you jealous? Are you jealous? Oh, he's a big boy. What's wrong? What's wrong, Squeaky? You're not getting attention. Oh, look at my attention. Look at that fluffy bucket. What? Look how big this bucket is. Oh my goodness. Oh, I got picked on. That's right. I got picked on. I got picked on. The unholy cleric of Torm. Oh, she was cool. Okay, cool. Yeah, I like Sally Zerner is cool. If you had to adjust an existing adventure campaign for a duo of players, what would you focus on first and foremost? I mean, the only thing you really need to adjust is the encounters, right? Like, that's it. You just mechanically adjust the encounters so that it works for 2 players, and you're done. So that's what I would do. I don't know that I would adjust anything else. I mean, if I like the adventure campaign as is, and I just have 2 players, I would just adjust the encounters, and I'm done. Yeah. The moment you give him attention, he backs away. Yeah, he's a pain in the butt. Squeaky! What's up, buddy? Yeah? I'll like you. Okay, whatever. You guys want to do a cat strike? We haven't done a cat strike in a while. We're going to give him catnip. Let's give him catnip. How's that sound? All right, relax. All right, let's get some catnip. All right, we're gonna go with, so we have the catnip right there, and then we have the banana and the pickle. I'm kind of a big dill. So we're gonna get them hopped up. on legal addictive substances right now. Yeah, I know. You're a maniac. Oh, gotta get the cat cam going. Relax. All right, here we go. I know. You gotta get another one. We're gonna get a second one going for them because they don't want to share. He got whacked. He got whacked. Take some of that. All right. While that craziness is happening, I gotta go to the bathroom. I'll be right back. You just watch these cute little kitties. I heard them squabbling while I was gone. Somebody did something. Gonna do the bunny kick. Do the bunny kick. The bunny kick. All right. Oh, Gestalt characters. Those are fun. All right, let's find some more questions here. I have a campaign. I have an idea for a campaign that I have decided to run as a hex crawl. I haven't decided on a system yet. Any tips for running a hex crawl or ideas or systems that support them? You know, I don't think that... I don't know that there are systems specifically made for hex crawls, or... I mean, what am I trying to say here? You can run a hex crawl using any game system you want. You could run a hex crawl with D&D 5th edition, you could run one with Pathfinder 2, you could run one with OSR, Shadow Dark, Dungeon Crawl Classics. Like, you could do a hex crawl with any game system. The idea of a hex crawl is really system agnostic, in my opinion. So the real question, I guess, as we're kind of talking this through is, are there game systems where a hex crawl would work better and be easier or better to implement with? I think that's the question, right? And so when we get back to, and I don't know that I have the answer to this, so I'm just going to kind of talk through some thoughts, and then you all can make up your own mind, I suppose. So when we think through the idea of a hex crawl is, we can say that it's an old school mechanic, right? Hex crawls don't usually happen nowadays too much, right? In like the games, the newer systems that are coming out, hex crawls aren't really a thing too much. So you can think of hex crawls as an old school mechanic. And if we're thinking of it as an old school mechanic, then you could reason that games that feel more old school in style might be better suited to hex crawls. I don't know if that's true or not. I'm just going to carry this piece of logic out to its conclusion, and we may or may not arrive at a good answer. So assuming that premise, hex crawl is old school, therefore game systems that remake or that are similar to old school games might work better. Then we might say that game systems such as OSR or original AD&D or the first D or something, or Shadow Dark, or games that are grittier and more old school in style might be better suited to running a hex crawl. So that would be my gut response, probably would be to go with something a little bit more lightweight, more grittier, if you want to run a hex crawl style of game. Now, I've just begun reading Shadow Dark, and so far I'm really liking the simplicity of the rules. Like, it explains a class in 2 pages. Like, 2 pages, class is done. It's just simple. A spread, and the book is like a 7 by 9 book. It's not your standard big 8.5 by 11. So it explains the rules very succinctly and done. It's very lightweight. So it's looking pretty cool so far. Now, I've never read any OSR stuff, so I just kind of know what it is. I have played like first edition AD&D and crap like that. And I know OSR is really based on that. It's a similar type of idea. So I don't know how well that worked, but I could totally see running a hex crawl using Shadow Dark. I could totally see that working really well. Now, would I see running a hex crawl work quite as well with 5th edition D&D or Pathfinder 2? I mean, you could do it, but I don't know if they're best suited for that type of gameplay. I don't know. But I think part of why they might not be suited for that type of gameplay might have more to do with the preconceptions and biases, baggage stuff that comes along with people playing those game systems. Like, they assume certain things or something, and therefore when they arrive at a hex crawl, it's like their expectations are kind of shattered a little bit. So, and I don't know if it's not necessarily because there's anything wrong with the game system in a hex crawl, but it might be because people have certain preconceived notions when they play 5th edition or Pathfinder 2 or something. So that might be part of the potential issue. But I'm just spitballing, right? I don't know the exact answer. I'm just kind of talking it through, So I don't know if that's helpful or not. Bye, Graham King Graham. Okay. Oh, by the way, we do have a giveaway going on, folks. You can join the giveaway at a link in the chat, hopefully. We're going to be giving away $50 store credit on the DM Lair store, where you can get tons of amazing 5th edition and Pathfinder 2 resources to use in your game. So we have map packs too. We have Foundry packs that have like all of the work of putting dynamic lighting and tokens and everything done for you. You just install it and it's ready to play. Journal entries are in there. Everything you need is in there. So our Foundry packs are amazing if you want to check those out. And our Foundry packs are for both 5th edition and Pathfinder 2. So check that out. They're on the DM Lair store, but probably if you're looking to get our Foundry packs, I would say the best way to get our Foundry packs is probably to become a DM Lair patron. Our $25 DM Lair patrons get they get everything. They get the PDF version of Lair magazine in 5th edition and in Pathfinder 2. They get the bonus adventure. Right now I'm writing Escape from the Fae. They get that for both Pathfinder 2 and 5th edition. And they get our Foundry modules for both Pathfinder 2 and 5th edition. Like, they get everything. They get our map packs. We have digital maps that we put out every month. Like, they get everything. Just crazy amounts of content is what our $25 patrons get. So that's probably the most economical, like, bang for your buck way to do it if you want to check out probably any of our content, honestly. The cats are kind of dying down here with the catnip. Most of them have scampered off at this point. Have you ever played Pathfinder First Edition? Yes, I have. I have played Pathfinder First Edition. It's really just 3.5. That's like I started playing. I played in 2 game sessions of Pathfinder 1, and it was 3.5, and I played 3.5 for years, and so I was like, oh yeah, I know how to play this, and that's exactly what it was for all intents and purposes. So, but it was fun. I mean, but I like 3.5. See, I like 3.5. With all of the different skills and then leveling them up every, I like 3.5 a lot. There were lots of problems with it, sure, and I probably don't remember half of them, but I enjoyed playing it as a game system. I thought it was lots of fun. Which means that Pathfinder 1 would probably be lots of fun too. All right. Nope. I don't know anything about that. Matthew says, why did you stop doing adventure creation streams? Because they were hard. Oh, they were so hard. Creating an adventure live over the course of 3 hours is some of the hardest work I've ever done. It's just really hard. You're trying to create the adventure. You're trying to keep the live stream somewhat interesting for viewers. I'm trying to get ideas. This is what would happen. The idea of creating an adventure together on a live stream is that the viewers would help create the adventure. But I know that I have to do an entire adventure in 3 hours, start to finish. And there's a lot of stuff that's got to get done. And so So each individual element of that adventure needs to get done quickly. We don't have a lot of time to do anything in depth. And so what I would frequently, this would happen all the time, somebody would have a really good idea for something that would be really cool in any adventure. And I would have to say, no, I'm sorry, we can't do that because we don't have time. Like they might have an idea for a really cool puzzle. And like I'm thinking, well, a puzzle is going to take us half an hour or an hour to flesh out because everything takes longer on a live stream. Everything takes longer live than it does if I'm just doing it by myself. It's just the way it is. Because I'm talking while I'm doing it. Basically, and thinking when I'm trying to do multiple things at the same time, talking to people, creating it, and thinking, trying to be creative, everything just takes longer. And so somebody might suggest something for a puzzle. That's really cool. Oh, that's amazing. I'm sorry, we don't have time to make a puzzle. Or somebody would be like, oh, for the boss monster, we could do this. And they'd have an idea for a monster. And I'd be like, well, that's really cool, but it could take us an hour, if not longer, to flesh out the stats for a boss monster. So we can't do that. And so I would constantly be having to tell people, they'd have good ideas, and I'd have to say, no, I'm sorry, but we can't use your good idea because I don't have time. Because I have to get this adventure done. So I'm like, I have to taskmaster myself, whip myself to go as fast as I can. At the same time, telling people, no, we can't do your cool thing because it is cool, but we can't, and then, so what else was going on for those things? So I'd be telling people no a lot, even though they had good ideas. And then, because I got to get the adventure done in 3 hours. And sometimes a lot of times I would ask people for ideas and I might get them, but I can't use them. Or I'd get a lot of ideas, and sometimes not every idea in the world is good, and so you can't use them. And so what I would find myself doing is most of the time I would be writing the adventure myself while talking about it, and mostly just asking people for the names of different stuff. And then I'd get some help, crowdsourcing the name generation or something. And so if you wrap everything together, the complexity of it, how difficult, how draining it was on me, with the limited amount that people in the audience were actually able to participate in a meaningful way, ultimately we were like, oh dude, this is why am I doing this? And then you look at, if I do an adventure creation stream, I have about 80 viewers on it. And at the time, my Q&A streams were getting close to a couple hundred viewers. And so then you say, okay, well, it's not that not everything has to do with the number of views you create, but views are an indication of how much people find something valuable. And so if something gets very few views, that tells you that, well, this isn't delivering a whole lot of value to people. And if something gets more views, like the Q&A stream, it's well, this is delivering more value to people because more people are there listening and watching and stuff. And so that's another piece of data that you take into the equation when you're deciding whether you want to do something. You know, how much value am I delivering? So it's extremely draining on me, and I'm maybe not delivering quite as much value as I could if I did something else, right? So, because it's an opportunity cost. Everything you decide to do is an opportunity cost, which means you can't do something else instead because you're using that time to do this thing. And so you take all of those things, swirl them around together, and the output is stop doing these. And that's where we were. Yeah, Mr. Gore. Exactly. Mr. Gore summed it up. So it took me 5 minutes to say it, and Mr. Gore summarized. Thank you. The adventure creation streams were fun, but Q&As are more useful, valuable, and engaging. Exactly. Exactly. All right. Let's see. More questions. What resources and equipment do I need to play an online game with you? Well, there's really only one thing you need to play an online game with me. The main thing is going to be getting on the waiting list. So I only run one online game. I have one group of patrons that I run D&D for. We run D&D 5th edition, one group of patrons. The group is currently full. We currently have 5 players in it. But we have a wait list, which is the 50. It's one of my tiers on my Patreon, and it's called the Ancient Dragon Reserve. And because my patron game is called the Ancient Dragon game. And so we have another tier on my Patreon, which is you get in the waiting list. And you full disclosure, you might be on the waiting list for a while. I know Matthew Chamberlain is probably still in the chat. He was on the waiting list for what, 6 months more? I don't know. Greg Piet, he's in the game right now. And how long were you on the waiting list? Like, you might be on the waiting list for a while. We don't usually have high turnover in my patron game, but it does happen. Obviously, it happens in every single game. So the first step is getting on the wait list. That's joining the Ancient Dragon Reserve tier on my Patreon. That's the first step. The second thing is, as far as equipment and stuff goes, you probably just need to have. We run our games in Foundry VTT now, so you don't need to buy or get anything for Foundry VTT. You just join the link that I share with you, and you're good to go. And so that doesn't cost you anything, and it's not hard to use either. You gotta have. We use cameras. You gotta have a camera. You have to have a webcam. Like I can't do it. If I can't see you, it's hard for me to run a game with you if I can't see your face. I'm sorry, it is. Like, I need to see your face. That's just so. Yeah, you have to have a webcam, please. Yeah, I can't do the no face thing. Greg Piet was on the wait list for a year. He's in the game now, though. I have one player, who is it? Sean, who plays the cat. What's the name of the cat? The Tabaxi. Sean has been in that game since the game began. He has been there from the very, very beginning. And I think that campaign has been running 3 years now, if not close to 4. I can't remember. It took a while. I mean, we've been doing it for a while. No, yeah, we stopped doing all the creation streams, Mr. Gore. All of them, yeah. All right. Question. Do you think players being OP in 5e has more to do with GMs not running the game properly, or just 5e mechanics? So it depends on how you define running the game properly. Like, what does it mean exactly for a GM to run the game properly? The definition of that is so large and ambiguous, and it's also subjective and depends on the person's point of view. Like, the way that I think running the game properly is going to be way different from somebody else's idea of what the proper way to run the game is. And my proper way of running the game might be a miserable game experience for a whole swath of players who don't want to run or they don't want to play in the type of game that I run. And so I think I'm running the game properly, but they think my game sucks, right? So that there's no way to define that accurately. Now, if you want to say, now if we rephrase that question and we say, do you think players being OP in 5th edition has more to do with GMs not using the rules as written? Well, now that's a different question. And the answer is probably yes, because in 5th edition D&D, if you're a game master running that game, you really can't use the rules as written in some ways. For instance, if you follow their encounter building mechanics, you're gonna be hosed at certain levels. There are certain mechanics that if you follow them as written in the rule book, you're screwed because their game mechanics fall apart and don't work. The system. Well, most game systems are hard and sloppy at the beginning levels because of player characters are so squishy and stuff. But 5th edition falls apart as a game system somewhere around maybe level 10 or 12, in so much that the encounter building rules are no longer dependable at all. And so to a large extent, as a game master, if you're running 5th edition D&D, you have to throw out certain parts of the rules and do things in a way that actually works. And that's going to be using your judgment and your experience based upon your own players, their abilities as players, but also their abilities as characters, right? Because there are good players that know how to run and play in a game, but then there are also optimal and suboptimal characters. And so if you have a good player with a really well-built character, they are going to tear stuff apart. But in the same, you can have a good player with a suboptimal character, and they could still do really well because they're good players. We're talking like power levels, right? Not necessarily like the role-playing stuff, but we're just talking about mechanically. So at a certain part, a game master has to throw away some of the rules to make things work, You have to for 5th edition D&D. And that's because, is it because the characters are overpowered? Yeah, that's part of it. But it's also, part of it is because the game mechanics weren't designed super tight. They fall apart at higher levels, which is probably one of the reasons a lot of groups don't play at higher levels, because the game mechanics fall apart and it makes high level play really tough. And that's why they do these surveys and they find out that like most players prefer to play lower levels or mid levels. But that's because the game isn't designed super well for high level play. That's why that people usually, there are two reasons. There are two main reasons actually. The first reason that most people prefer, low level, mid level play is most groups fall apart before you ever get to the high levels. They just fall apart. And so you never experience them. But the other reason is that that game isn't properly balanced and doesn't really work at higher levels. And it takes a lot of game master finagling. Not only that, but it also takes players who know that this game is kind of bonkers at high levels. And it takes players exercising restraint and not doing some of the things that they know are broken. You get the wrong players in a high level game, and as a game master, you're just going to flip the board and walk away, because if your players, it's not hard to figure out the things that are overpowered and broken, because go onto Reddit, do a Google search. There are certain YouTube channels, that's all they talk about, right? So finding out what's overpowered and broken is not hard. Anybody can do it. But there are some players who just wantonly do those things in games, and that's what causes game masters such a headache, right? So when you have players who don't do that and exercise discretion and are good players, in my opinion, and don't do all the broken, horrible stuff, well, then it makes the game more playable, right? The game master still has to do stuff on their end to make it playable at high levels, but it takes both of them. You got to have the good players exercising restraint and not doing crazy broken stuff, and you also have to have a game master with some experience who kind of knows how to still finagle things to make it work. So it takes those two things, and with those two variables, right, they exist together, right, but it's not as common as you would hope. Oh, that's true. For the Ancient Dragon game that I run, if you're in the reserve on the waitlist, and a regular player can't make a game session, then you get called up to play in that game session. So that's true. I know most people on the waitlist end up playing in a game session or two because a regular player can't make it. But when you're paying a lot of money to play a game, you usually make the game session. So absences tend to be pretty rare. Yeah, we're level 20 in our Ancient Dragon game right now. It's level 20 game. Took us 3 years to get there or so. 3 years or so. I'm going back through looking for questions. If you dropped a question and I did not answer it, please feel free to post it again. Oh, I'm so hungry. I can't wait for tomorrow. I'm gonna have food tomorrow. It's gonna be delicious. Scanning for questions. Oh, I've already answered those ones. Okay, here we go. I haven't bought a Wizards of the Coast book since Xanathar's Guide to Everything, and just do third-party and any third-party 5e books you really like. Okay, hold on a second. There was no period in that one. Threw me off. Are there any third-party 5e books you really like or are looking forward to, other than Lairs and Legends 2 Kickstarter April 2nd? Oh, look at that. He's like, I know what you're going to do. You're going to plug your Kickstarter coming up April 2nd. Lairs and Legends 2. You're going to put a sleazy plug in there for your own Kickstarter. I love my Kickstarter. This is the best Kickstarter ever. You guys, we're going to be launching on Tuesday, April 2nd at 12 p.m. Eastern. So, come join us for the party and get the Kickstarter and stuff. This is going to be amazing. I mean, I think it is, but he's like intentionally like, don't plug your Kickstarter. We know. Okay, so we'll go away from that then. We have a giveaway going on too, guys. Don't forget to join the giveaway. We're gonna be drawing the winners to the giveaway in like about a half an hour or so. What are the third-party books that I use? Well, the problem is since I don't have my bookcase put together, it's empty right now. It's hard for me to go over there and grab some books for you. But there is an herbalism book that I really like, that I try to use from when I can, that I have. You want third-party D&D books. Tome of Beasts, Tome of Beasts 1, Tome of Beasts 2, Tome of Beasts 3, Codex, Creatures Codex. All of those books get used a lot in my D&D 5th edition games. Like, I almost never use monsters from Wizards of the Coast's books. I almost always use something from Cobalt Press for my monsters. So those are very solid books. 100% very solid books. And what other third parties do I use specifically for my 5th edition games? I think those are the major ones. Like, I don't really need anything myself personally. Like, monsters are because I homebrew my 5th edition adventure for my Patreon game, and so the only thing I really need are monsters, and then I make my adventures from monsters. I don't make my own monsters not for my Patreon game. Making your own monsters is a lot of work. So, but Tome of Beasts are good. So I think that's really all I kind of use. Yeah, that's probably it. As far as what I use. So I think that's all I got for you, man. All right, let's see if people drop some more questions here. What's wrong with Nightbot? What is it doing now? Oh, is it warning people? Nightbot is warning people about spamming. Oh, really? Nightbot's being a bad boy. Is it? It's not like actually banning people and stuff, is it? What is it doing? I sent a comment in all caps. Nightbot did not like it. Oh, we don't need it to be. Well, I mean, but Nightbot doesn't need to bonk people on the head for all caps, because that's not really a problem. unless people start doing it all the time. Let's see, spam protection, excess caps. This filter allows you to time out users who use excessive capital letters in messages. We don't need to time people out for that. I'm going to turn that off. Okay. Blacklist words and phrases. Oh yeah, we definitely want that on. What do they have? What kind of words and phrases do they have blacklisted? This is a list of filtered words and phrases you wish to block. Filtering 1 entry per line. Okay. Well, I mean, we'll probably develop this over time, but I know a couple. There we go. There's one of them. There's a couple of them. All right. Excessive emotes. We never have a problem with emotes. We don't probably need to have that turned on. We'll turn that off. Links. This filter allows you to time out and whitelist links. Let's see. What's in that option? It looks like people can't post links unless you're a moderator. Yeah, moderators can post links. I think that's fine. We don't want everybody to be able to post links. Excess symbols. This filter allows you to time out users spamming excessive symbols. That's never been a problem. We're gonna turn that off. There we go. All right. I just changed some Nightbot settings so that people should not get yelled at for doing things that are not really a problem. So that should help. Luke is blocking keyword Wizards of the Coast. Oh, there was a quick silence for multiple emotes. I took care of that. Yeah, I think we're good. Nightbot is an aspiring tyrant. It would seem so, but I just put it in its place. So I think we're good. Philip Stratton says, will Lairs and Legends 2 be good for a first-time Dungeon Master? Yes, 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 yes. Because, I mean, generally speaking, first-time Game Masters, one of the things that can be a struggle is that you have... What just happened over there? No, I think Squeaky is up at the window over here, and he was making a noise. It sounds like a cat puking. I've heard that a lot in my basement, and so I was like, oh no, somebody's puking. But it looks like he's at the window making noises at birds and stuff, or squirrels. So, what was I talking about? One of the things that first-time Game Masters struggle with, or can struggle with, or could be a potential problem, is that you have so much you have to do, right? Like, you're learning the game rules, and you have to create your own adventures and different things, you know, or you have to make your own puzzles, you have to make your own traps or something. It's like, and you're doing all of this stuff, and then you have to run the game at the table, and you've never done before, and you're not sure how to do that. You have all of these things that you have to do as a first-time Game Master, and so when there's a resource that helps with any of those things, it's going to make it easier for you. So when we did our Secret Art of Game Mastery Kickstarter last year, the purpose of that book was to give Game Masters a lot of tools and information to help them run the games better and prepare their own adventures and do a lot of these things better, you know, and give them information about that, you know, giving tools to Game Masters. And so Lairs and Legends 2, it gives more tools to Game Masters. It gives you adventures that you can just drag and drop and use in your games, puzzles, I hate making puzzles, tons of puzzles you can put in your games, traps, new monsters, standalone encounters, all of these things, right? So that's going to be less work, less prep work that you got to do in your games. And the thing is, too, is that before I started doing all of this dungeon mastering and YouTube and crap like that, I was a professional writer. I was a technical writer. And so one of the things that when you're a tech writer, one of the most important things when you're a tech writer is that what you write is clear to the user. You want your user to be able to pick up your documentation. I did it in tech, software development. So you want somebody to be able to read what you wrote and have it be clear, right? And usable and implementable. You don't want it to be confusing at all, right? So like I took my experience as a tech writer and I transferred that to the way, especially the way that we write adventures. So when we write adventures for all, this is for all DM Lair publications, we have a very particular format and style that we write our adventures in. And they're designed in a way that does two things. First of all, it minimizes your prep time. It allows you to prep your game faster and get ready to play faster. So that's the first thing. And the second thing, the way that we write our adventures, is that it makes it so that when you're running the adventure at the game table, you can quickly find the information you need. I cannot tell you how many stinking times I've been running an official published adventure from somewhere else, usually Wizards of the Coast, and I got this big block of text and I can't find the information I need. Like, what is in the treasure chest? What is in the treasure chest? And you're looking through this whole paragraph, 2 paragraphs. Oh, there it is. These 2 sentences right here tell me what's in the treasure chest. I don't want to have to like look through this and parse through all these words to find what I need. If there's a treasure chest in the room in our publications, it's clearly denoted in bold text as its own paragraph, and you can easily find what's in the chest. If there's a cabinet, same thing, you can easily find it. Everything is very clearly noted, organized, so you can quickly find what you need when you're running the game for your friends at the game table. So it makes your prep time faster, and it helps you find what you're looking for. Organization, clarity, ease of use. These are the things that we try to specialize and put an emphasis in on the adventures that we create. And so there are a lot of books. I am of the firm opinion that many of the books that are published in this genre are published so that they look good. Like, you open up the spread and wow, it looks pretty. Oh, that's pleasing to the eye. And 2, just reading through it, it's made to be read through. But I think a big failing that I've seen in a lot of publications is that they are not written and designed to help you prepare for your game, nor to help you run your game at the game table. And I think that is a massive oversight, because what is the purpose of these books if not to help you get ready for your games and run your games? Like, the DM Lair, we don't publish books that are just meant to look pretty, or meant to be read through, while you're on the pot or you're going to bed at night or whatever, wherever you do your reading, right? Our books are designed to be used, to be referenced and used to run games. And so we try to design them in that way. So anyway, so all that said, that's going to make these resources that we publish, Lair's Legends 2, easier for first-time game masters to use. So yes, it's going to make your job easier in a few different ways. All right. Oh, don't forget to join our giveaway, ladies and gentlemen. We're going to be drawing the winner in about 15 minutes. So click the link, do the stuff. We're giving away $50 DM Lair store credit where you can get lots of cool stuff. Do you think Hasbro will release a product which includes friends to play with? That includes friends to play D&D with. I've got the books, the dice, all the stuff I need. Now I just need players. Yeah, actually, yes, they are. So this is, look it. Don't tell anybody I told you this, okay? But I was talking to some people at Wizards of the Coast. Check this out. They have this new product coming out. You've heard of inflatables, right? Like, you can life-size inflatables and stuff. So these are life-size inflatable D&D players. So if you don't have like friends, or maybe you got friends, everybody's got friends, but maybe your friends don't like D&D, that's not a problem anymore. That's not a problem anymore, because with these life-size inflatables, you're going to be able to put literal friends around your game table. And I'm telling you what, I saw a sneak preview of these and it was crazy. So these D&D friends, let's just call them D&D friends, these inflatables, they roll dice, okay? They tell you what their characters are gonna do. You can get them pre-programmed for different classes, like clerics and rogues, like everything. So if maybe you don't wanna play online, that's fine, you don't gotta worry about that, all right? You can get life-size inflatable D&D friends to play with at your gaming table, and you know what? They're gonna laugh at every single one of your jokes. You know what? If you didn't do your hair up, right, or you got a big booger or snot hanging out of your nose, they don't care. These guys are gonna love you. They're gonna be your bestest friends ever. And you know what? When you do something stupid at the game table that like gets the whole party screwed, they're not gonna criticize you. They're not gonna be passive aggressive. There's gonna be no snide comments. They're just gonna be like, yay, you're awesome. You can do this. We support you. Solidarity, we got your back. These D&D friends are gonna be the best ever. But don't tell anybody. Don't tell anybody, because this is like a little inside thing that I got from Wizards, right? And I'm like under an NDA and stuff. I can't tell anybody about these inflatable D&D friends, okay? So you gotta be quiet about these, okay? Or I can get in lots of trouble, all right? So I probably shouldn't even be telling you about this on the live stream. But you asked, and I'm trying to be honest. So here we are. What do you mean? How much would they cost if they were true? They're absolutely true. I have an inside track on this sort of thing. People not believing what I'm saying. All right. Let's see if Dungeon Coach responded to me. Nope. Dungeon Coach did not respond to me with the affiliate link for DC 20. Oh. All right. What percentage of monsters are from each monster manual for Lairs and Legends? Of course, the 5e monster manual, but also Tome of Beasts 1, 2, and 3. I want to know what I need to buy. For Lairs and Legends, too? Like, so there's only two types of monsters that we use in Lairs and Legends 2. The first type of monster is, and I'm pretty sure about this. I hope I'm not wrong about this, but things from the monster manual, SRD monsters, you'll need the monster manual. But unless I'm mistaken, everything else should be homebrew monsters that will be found in the Loot and Lore 2 book. If there's a possibility, there is a possibility that we used some Tome of Beasts monsters. But here's the thing. Whenever we use Tome of Beasts monsters in our publications, we give you alternatives that are from the monster manual that you can use, right? So that if you don't have Tome of Beasts 1, 2, 3, whatever, you have substitution monsters that you can just grab. It might take a little bit of tweaking to make things work, but whenever we use Tome of Beasts stuff, we always tell you potential substitutions, because we understand that not everybody has those books, and we try to make things easy for you, you know. But I would wager to guess to say that the vast majority of monsters are homebrew monsters that are in the books, and then they're just going to be stuff in the monster manual, like SRD monsters, which, you know, yeah. So you shouldn't have to, like, I'm sorry, Slaughterhouse. Slaughterhouse says, I can't believe you're talking about the new D&D friends. I know. I just couldn't help it. They asked me about it, and I had to tell them, what am I going to do? What am I going to do, man? Philip Strad says, I'm all about big boogs. I cannot not lie. Big boogers. Basher Eva says, you look great today, by the way. Well, thank you, Asher. Are you just being a D&D friend? Just telling me I look great, even though I don't? Yeah. All right, let me find some more questions here. Does Cobalt Press let you use the stat block like SRD? I think so. I'd have to. I'm pretty sure that they label almost everything as open content, but we don't use stat blocks in our publications, so it kind of doesn't matter. But they do have pretty good licenses on their products that allow you to use them. Otherwise, we wouldn't be using them. In one DM, one player sessions. Okay, so you have one game master and you have one player. Okay. How much a player need help in form of NPC hirelings at a minimum? Technically, they don't. You can run a game with just that player's character. I've done that before. I had a friend in high school that that's what we did. He and I played. That's it, because the other players didn't want to play, or I don't know what the issue was. We had a gaming group. There were like 4 players or so. We played for a while, and then all of them but one couldn't play anymore, and so that one guy and I played. I don't know how long we played, but I don't know if he had any hirelings and stuff. I think it was just he and I playing, and yeah, I don't think he did. So I mean, you can adjust the game for just one player. It might. I mean, you have to do. There are some things you'd have to do to account for that, you know. So you might want to give him a hireling, or have him run 2 characters or something. I know for when I was playing D&D with my daughter when she was about 12 or so, there were 4 characters in the party. She ran 2 of them, and I ran 2 of them, and I was the dungeon master. And so we had 4 people, and we did it that way, and it worked pretty well. So there's a variety of ways you can do it. So you can do it without any NPCs. You can have them run full-blown characters. You can give them NPCs that have stat blocks to make it easier to run, you know. So, yeah. It's not that bad, though. You just got to remember action economy. If you have a solo character, you probably don't want to have maybe more than 2 enemies max in an encounter. A lot of the encounters probably are going to be one-on-one, because even if you have if you have 5 really weak enemies versus 1 character, they have so much action economy, the number of attacks they can make, that they could overwhelm a single character. And so that's the only thing that you want to keep in mind when you're developing encounters and you just have 1 character playing in the game. You probably want to have a maximum of 2 enemies, maybe. And I'm just spitballing. Obviously, exemptions and whatever exceptions apply, but probably a maximum of 2 enemies, and then usually a lot of the encounters might be one-on-one encounters. So that would be how I would do it to start off with, until I got a feel for it a little bit better, and then started to experiment and kind of see how things go. Does Lairs of Legends 2 have high-level adventures? You better believe it does. Lairs of Legends 2 is going to have adventures from levels 1 to 20. 1 to 20. I can probably tell you more or less exactly how many, which ones it's going to have. It has over 30 adventures in it, and it spans all levels of play. Let me see. I have a. Whoops, this is the wrong one. Oops, that's the wrong button. Hopefully I can find this today. Where is this thing? There it is. I found it. So this is from 2022. So, all right, let's just go over here. I should be able to share this without getting in trouble. All right, I'm getting the screen set up, and then I'm going to show you what's on my screen. All right, I think I can share that now. Where is the monitor? Okay, so this is a spreadsheet that keeps track of everything we published. And everything in this box right here, and I'm just gonna do a temporary, we'll turn this a different color. Everything in the purple box was published in 2022 in Lair magazine, and that's what we're putting into Lairs of Legends 2. And plus additional stuff unlocked through stretch goals and whatnot. Let's see, there we go. So you can see you have level 1s in here. Okay, so we have an adventure arc from 18, 19, and 20. There's a level 2 right there, level 17, level 4, level 6, level 5. It's everywhere. Level 8, 9, and 10, 5, 6, 7, there's a 4, there's an 8. It's all over the place. So you have, I think, if I remember correctly, the only adventure that we don't, no, we do. It's right there, level 11. Yeah. Yeah, I think we have, a lot of these have multiple adventures for the same level. But the point is that the adventures we're publishing in Lairs of Legends 2 span all 20 levels. And so you're going to have high level adventures as well. So yeah, the answer to your question is yes. Okay, now I need to undo the purple. Whoop. And then let's go back to here. And then I want to close that. Do not save changes. When looking for Elvish Forgotten Realm words and phrases, where should one go? I would go to Google and do a Google search and see what I find. I honestly don't know the answer to that. You'd have to do a little bit of hunting for that. I'm sure you'll find something though. Is there an adventure in Lairs and Legends 2 you are particularly proud of? Well, let's pull up the list again. It's like, why did you close it? Just open it up again. Yeah, well, you know, I didn't know we were gonna get all these questions. Let's see. Let's go back in here. We're gonna pull up the list again. I should have just left this. I should have just left that open. All right, let's go over here. Monitor center. Let's highlight these things again. This one I like. The World Torn Asunder. I like that one a lot. This is an adventure arc. Let's go a little bit bigger so we can see it on screen, shall we? And I gotta do a custom scroll. There we go. It's a high-level adventure arc, 18, 19, and 20. That one is pretty cool. That features the Grekti, if I'm not mistaken. Let's see, it has custom monsters in that. Look at these are all the custom monsters, by the way. Just tons and tons of custom monsters. The Grekti, I believe the Grekti, yeah, these are the Grekti. So my friend Ed Robinson made these. They're really cool high-level monsters. So that features the Grekti. So that's a really cool one. And then, I see, I like that one. And then, is there anything else that jumps out to me? I remember this one being pretty cool. To Save a Silver Dragon. I think that one was pretty cool. So, yeah, those are the ones that jump out at me. This is from 2 years ago, bear in mind, and Luke's memory sucks. I can't remember what I had for dinner yesterday. What did I have for dinner yesterday? I had Five Guys, burger and fries with my daughter. Yeah, that was a good dinner. Okay, I'm gonna leave that spreadsheet open, but we don't have to sit there and stare at it all day. Oh, Lord Wise Wolf, I was not like saying anything negative about you because I had to open up the spreadsheet again. I was just kind of commenting in general about my own could have left it open type of thing. So it wasn't you, dude. Creating a dungeon crawl, would love a temple at the heart of the dungeon. How could I find assistance for building? I'm not sure what you're asking. If you need help building the temple, dude, just do it. Just do it. Just the only way that you're going to learn to do it yourself is by doing it. So you might go, I would look for things such as if you need help building a temple, ask yourself what kind of rooms are in a temple? What are the different things that I would find in a temple? Now, the 5th edition Dungeon Master's Guide, at the very back of it, has a bunch of random tables. Some of those tables are literally, it tells you the type of dungeon. You can find a temple or a cathedral, and it'll list off the different rooms you might find in there. And so I would start doing some research on temples to find out what typically is found in a temple, and then use that information to start building your own temple. And then, so you're going to be learning stuff yourself, doing your own research, and then building it yourself. As far as like the actual, like what should the map of the temple look like, I would be doing research on real life temples that exist. I would look up fantasy temples. My dog has got a problem. I would look for D&D temple maps to get inspiration and stuff. Just do Google searches. So do a bunch of research, find out, get informed on temples and stuff and what should go in them and how the map should look, and then start creating your own. Like, that is the way to do it. Like, if you want to learn how to do it yourself, that's the way to do it. Do some research and stuff. Information is free these days. Information is free. Everybody and their mom and their grandma, have a cell phone in their pocket that has access to the internet. And so it just takes a little bit of work and research, and you can figure out how to do these things. All right. Oh gosh. This is the classic problem. Vuko Jabina says, hi, new DM here, 5th edition. If my players want to disengage from a battle, how would you play a chase scene? Plus, if they fail, how to prevent them from simply using dash action and trying to run away. So this is like the perennial problem of D&D 5th edition. One of them. Running away. Running away is almost impossible in D&D 5th edition. In fact, the first side that tries to run away is dead. You're dead. Because if you don't disengage, the enemy gets a free attack. If you do disengage, you can only move 30 feet away, which means the enemy on his turn is going to move 30 feet and attack you anyway. So disengaging, like running away from a combat in 5th edition D&D, is a death sentence. The rules as written do not address this. They do not help you one stinking bit, right? Which, you could say, hey, maybe that's fair because you can't account for everything. But running away in battle is pretty ubiquitous, and you should argue, I think, that should be included in the base rules. So anyway, this is how I do it. It's very simple. I run a skill challenge. So I think the general rule that I have in my games is that you have a map, right? You have a map. And if the players want to run away from a combat, all they have to do is get all of the players to the edge of the map. Move your tokens, get them all to the edge of the map. And same for the enemies. The enemies get to the edge of the map. Once you're to the edge of the map, the combat, as far as like the rules for combat and initiative, end, and we now transition to the escape scene. The dramatic question is, can the players escape? Or can the enemies escape? Will they get away or will they get caught? And so at that point, we transition to a skill challenge. And I run a skill challenge to see if you can actually escape or if not, right? And so I use skill challenge is for escape scenes. The escape scene, there are escape scene mechanics in the Dungeon Master Guide. I think they are overly complex and fall flat for the most part. You might use those chase scene mechanics for a set scene that you have, something very specific that you're crafting that might work for that, but I would not use them for the run-of-the-mill, we need to get away from the bad guys sort of thing. I would use a skill challenge for that. Now, skill challenge is a mechanic from 4th edition that is a really good mechanic. It can be really good. You could implement it in a way that sucks too, but for some uses it can work really, really well, and running away from the bad guys is one of those cases. So I would run a skill challenge to see, and we're past the end point of the live stream, so I'm not going to go into super detail on that, and I don't have to because I literally have a video on my channel called Skill Challenges. It's something about skill challenges. So go on my channel, search for skill challenges, and you're going to get an entire video that tells you how to do a skill challenge in 5th edition. And if you go over to the DM Lair store, we also have skill challenge mechanics that you can just purchase and get, and it walks through everything too, because that saves you, and it's better for reference. So DM Lair skill challenge. All right, let's see. I should be able to find this somewhat easily. I think it's here. I'm gonna find the link for you to the skill challenges. All right, here we go. Copy link. I got the link. And then I gotta go over to YouTube, chat, right there. Okay, so in that issue of Lair magazine right there, you can find the skill challenge system that should help you. So that's what I would do for running away from enemies. Or if the enemies are trying to run away, same thing. The players are gonna run a skill challenge. They're gonna participate in a skill challenge to see if they can catch the enemies or not, right? And then opposite, if the characters are running away, they have to run a skill challenge to see if they can get away from the enemy or if they get caught, right? Okay. We're going to end it right there, except that we have to pull the winner to the giveaway. So we're going to do that right now. I'm going to draw the winner to the giveaway. Winner, baby, draw the winner. All right, here we go. Drawing the winner now. And the winner is William from Texas. William from Texas, you are the winner. I will be emailing you shortly to hook you up with your loot. If I did not get to your question today, ladies and gentlemen, yes, there is a giveaway. We just drew the winner of the giveaway. If I didn't get to your question today, we have another live stream on Monday at 6 p.m. Eastern. Feel free to drop by. We'll be answering questions once again. So we'll see you then. I gotta go prepare for my game tonight. I have a D&D game that I'm running, and I gotta get ready for it. So that's what I'm doing. All right, I'm out of here. In stream, yes.